Thanks a lot for joining the channel. Please subscribe. Appreciate your time today. I'm just looking at new stadiumitis, right? This is a phrase I've come up with, new stadiumitis. And I think that Tottenham and Arsenal are both suffering with this. Arsenal obviously built the Emirates ages ago. Tottenham have got their new, unbelievable, magnificent stadium. But I think that we need to look really closely at football finances. And from a completely business perspective, forget the facilities, forget the image, forget having an amazing stadium and all the facilities and how great it looks and how easy it is to attract maybe star players. From a business perspective, when you spend £1.2 billion on an asset, what is the return that you're getting on that asset? It's really quite paltry. So if you look at, say, a football club, what is a Premier League football club's major earning? It's broadcasting and it's sponsorship. And match day revenue comes kind of like fourth on the list. I'm not saying it's unimportant. I'm not saying that it's better for you to get, it's obviously better for you to get 80,000 season ticket holders than 10,000. But what I'm saying is that, like, actually to move the dial on a club, the match day going revenue isn't the main thing that's going to move that. It's going to be the television deal. It's going to be sponsorship, stuff like that. So actually, when you invest 1.5 billion, 1.2 billion, depending on who which figures you believe, for example, for Tottenham, and you borrow 600 million pounds for that, what return on investment are you getting? You might be getting like 20, 30 million pounds. So what percentage is that? It's not very high. So you put the club into debt. You don't spend money on transfers. You sometimes sell some star players to pay for this stadium, and you think it's a good long-term investment. But if the broadcasting revenue continues and the sponsorship and you're essentially generating most of your revenue from outside of the UK, the match day going revenue as a proportion of your turnover will probably decrease. So new stadiumitis is a real thing. Now, if you pay for a new stadium with cash, don't have any debt, and you continue to invest in the squad, I believe it's a good idea. But as a business, in isolation, is a new stadium the best use of money? And if you have the debt, you've got to pay interest on that. You've got to pay the money back. The rate of interest can go up. All these things are there that could affect the club. In a way, building a new stadium is a little bit of a vanity project. I mean, West Ham got a new stadium, the Olympic Stadium. I don't know how much they paid for it. Not 1.2 billion. So that's kind of clever. Man City did it with the Etihad. Some United fans call it the Council House, but that's a different story altogether. But no, it's a factor. It's a major liability on your balance sheet. But yet, what return are you getting? So please tell me what you think. I think Tottenham are in big trouble, and I think this long-term issue that Arsenal have had, like they had Wenger, exceptional manager. His last 10 years were characterised by relative failure. They basically, if you look at all the players they sold, they probably could have won the Champions League if they just kept them. So it's like you don't even have to say he should have signed loads of players. Like they basically were a feeder club to Man City for ages, and look where they are now. Chronic underinvestment in the team, buying cheap players, buying players from a level below, trying to buy development players, trying to blood youth players that probably weren't good enough, and that is the reality of buying a new stadium with debt or having a new stadium and you really can't afford it. Now, I'm not saying that it's not good to have a new stadium. I'm not saying that Tottenham Stadium's amazing. Like, the Emirates is unbelievable. Those two stadiums are probably the two best stadiums in the world, or up there in the top 5 facilities. And I'm not saying that they've not done an amazing job, but if you're a football fan and your team is chronically underachieving, been underinvested in, doesn't improve the starting lineup, like you're watching that. You're watching it in a nice stadium, but you're watching your team fail. Like that's the opportunity cost. Anyway, please discuss in the comments. Thanks for listening. Take care.